It's true. It's true. This is really my first time really talking with Meek, and basically he told me like, he didn't appreciate the letter that I dropped, and it made him seem like he was a liar or whatnot, and they fucking stole off on me in the Nike store and ran.
This is Quentin Miller. You remember that last year he got caught up in that whole big mess for allegedly doing this. And as you just witnessed, he recently admitted to being attacked by Meek and his entourage. With Quentin back in the news cycle, that got me thinking about that word. You know what? Screw it. I'm gonna say it. Why are we so weird about ghostwriting? Why is it such a dirty word? Let's go back to the year 2000. It was a different time. Lyricism was finally being appreciated at a high level, so that made the impact of this record that much greater. Mad Skillz is the creator of one of the most controversial records of all time, Ghostwriter. It appears that he was frustrated over not receiving payments for his work, so he basically made a hip-hop tell-all by calling out the artists that he had written for and putting their names in it, though later his record label would censor those names. Since then, the only definite suspects on the song were Diddy, Will Smith, Mace, Foxy Brown, and Jermaine Dupri. And I know, not exactly the who's who of lyricists, but after that record, one thing was clear: ghostwriting was a reality. But you would be even more surprised to know that it's been a reality long before that. In fact, let's go back to 1979. Rapper's Delight, known by many to be the very first commercially successful rap song. Even if you don't know all the words, you're at least familiar with the first couple of bars. The hip, hop, the hip, the hip, the hip, hip, the rocket, the don't stop, the bam, the boogie, and the beat in your meat. You get it. Now that was performed by the Sugar Hill Gang, but it wasn't written by them. It was actually written by Grandmaster Caz of the Cold Crush Brothers. It's ironic that the oldest of the old school is considered to be the purest time of the genre, but the most meaningful record of all time was ghostwritten, and it doesn't stop there. Classics to a lesser extent like Still Dre by Dr. Dre was written by Jay-Z, Ice Cube wrote most of Eazy-E's early work, Jump by Criss Cross was written by Jermaine Dupri, Run DMC wrote Paul Revere for the Beastie Boys, and we all remember that Rhymefest wrote Jesus Walks for Ye, and the list goes on. So why do we have such an issue with this word? One obvious answer would be that it's always assumed that your story should be written by you. What are these songs other than life experiences? But I think we make a bit too much out of lyrics. If you were to break down a rapper's skill set, create a player style, adding attributes by a limited amount of points, say 100, and let's use Big Sean as an example. By looking at his attributes, I think that you would all agree that his lyrical assessment is pretty accurate, so most people don't care for him. But we can't ignore other areas like voice, flow, and marketability, and that's a dirty word to you purists, but we're referring to the entire package. Let's contrast Big Sean with somebody like Lupe. He's pretty much heavy on the lyrics, but not much else. At least not anymore. Lyricist is often used as an interchangeable term for rapper. A rapper is his lyrics, and that's how we've operated for years. Shit, another well-known ghostwriter like Jay Electronica, who has provided a small amount of music, is praised. So why do we put someone on a pedestal who doesn't seem to give a shit and categorize them over an artist who actually shows up? We make too much out of lyrics. What's never taken into consideration is the question of whether the ghostwriter can perform the song better. I've heard several songs from Quentin Miller and other supposed ghostwriters, and the mic presence and energy just aren't there. Could their set of skills be the most one-sided attributes of them all? Whether you like it or not, ghostwriting is a part of the grand story. As much as you'd like to think of it as a taboo, it's here and it always has been. From the pioneers down to the contemporary legends. Whether they wrote for someone or someone wrote for them, it's all the same. Ghostwriting is hip-hop.